In this short video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own podcast artwork using free software, including Keynote and GIMP. I'm Tony Brown of tonylbrown.com. So first of all, let's open up Keynote. The first thing you'll want to do is to set the zoom to 75%, as this will show you the entire slide on one page and help you to maintain an overall perspective when designing your cover. Next, you're going to want to set the slide size to widescreen. This is not really a huge issue, but I just prefer to work with widescreen as it gives you a bigger area to work in, but you can go with standard size if you want to. Depending on the style of cover you want to achieve, you may want to choose one of the themes available in Keynote, as these can give you textured background which may suit the design style you're looking for. But for this example, I'm going to use a plain white background. Create a 500 by 500 pixel square by using the drag and drop guides that Keynote provide. Just click the ruler at the top and drag it down. So that's your working area. Next, I'm going to use a shape to create my canvas. I like to use a rectangle with rounded edges. Just click it and drag it to the size of your working area. You may want to adjust the radius of your rounded edges. Next, you're going to want to format your canvas. So firstly, let's pick the colour we want to work with. In Keynote, you can either click and select the colour you want, or if you know the colour code you want to use, just type it straight in and Keynote will pull that colour up. The next thing I like to do is to create myself a margin to work within. This will help ensure that any text or images I use stay within the working area of the canvas. As I'm using a 500 by 500 square, I usually create a 400 by 400 margin. Again, you'll just drag and drop the guides from the ruler area. Next, you're going to want to put your text on your cover. This would be the name of your podcast and any other text you'd want to feature on the cover. Using this format bar, you can easily adjust the font size, the colour, and any shadows you want on the text. As this is just a basic tutorial, I'm not too fussed about the branding or the style of font I'm using. You can make use of the shapes to create banners and backdrops on your cover. I'm going to use a basic rectangle to create a white banner, and again I'll just use the format window on the right to format it. You can also use the text fill option to create a backdrop for your text. When formatting the colour, if you want to ensure that it matches another colour in your design, just select the text and use a magnifying glass to click on a colour you want to match it with, and Keynote will automatically format the colour to match. Let's play about with the shapes a little bit. I'm going to use a star just to create a little splash in the corner. To maintain the shape ratio, make sure you click Constrain Proportions. You can drag this green dot to add more points to your star. You can use this green dot here to expand the radius of the center circle of your star. Now I want to go ahead and add an image. Let's jump over to Google Images and find something to use in this example. Now obviously when you're doing your podcast cover, you're going to want to ensure you have the rights to use any image. But as I will not be publishing this, I'll just pull something off Google Images. So I'm just going to type in microphone and see what Google has to offer. I'm going to use the search tool function to filter the type of image I want. I'm going to want an image that's quite large, and I just want some clip art, and I also want it to be black and white. I'm going to use this microphone here. Once I've found it, I'm going to copy the image and go back over to Keynote and simply paste it onto the slide. Now what I'm going to do is to format the image. Firstly, I want to get rid of the white background. I'll do this by using what they call Instant Alpha, and this is a tool to basically remove any colour you don't want in the image. Just click and drag and you'll see the colour begin to disappear. When you're finished, just click done, and there you go. Now what I'm going to do is to change the colour contrast to lighten the microphone. I'm going to play with the contrast, the saturation and the exposure to try and get it as close to white as possible. Now let's just move that to the bottom and adjust the other components slightly to get a nice fit. And I'll just finish it off by adding the name of the podcast host. And again, I'll just format the text. And I'll also adjust the angle slightly. And there you go, that's my basic design. Now what I want to do is to export it as an image. So I'll go to File, Export to, and I'll select Images. And I'm going to export this as a high quality JPEG. I'll click Next. I'll select where I want the file to be saved. I'll type in what I want the file to be called. And I'll just click Export. Once we've exported the file as a JPEG, we're going to want to open it in GIMP to finish it off. And again, GIMP is freely available for download from the internet. So what we'll do, we'll create a new image and we'll set the image size to the dimensions we want. I suggest you use the recommended iTunes artwork dimensions, which is 2048 by 2048 pixels. Don't worry, you can adjust the size to whatever you want later on. So here's your new canvas. Now, similar to what we did in Keynote, we want to create some guides. So if we just drag and drop the guidelines from the ruler on the side, and what we want to do is place them at the edge of the canvas. This is going to help us ensure that the image is the right size. And there you go, there's your working canvas. Now what we want to do is to import our artwork that we've just created in Keynote. We'll go to File and Open as a new layer. We'll find where the image is saved. We'll select it, and there it is. Now all we need to do is to scale the image to fit the canvas, and we'll do that by using the Scale tool here. Just click it and click on the image. This will open up a grid which you can use to scale the image. Just make sure you click these two links together to ensure you constrain the image proportion and ratio. Then you can just click a corner and drag it. Click the other corner and drag that. And just keep doing it until your image hits your guidelines. You may need to jiggle it about a little bit. Also, I recommend giving yourself a little bit of spillage over the guidelines, just to make sure it's full and you don't have a white line around the edge. Once you're happy with that, just click Scale, and there you have it. I like to give it one final check by just zooming in and just checking that the image totally fills the area, and as you can see there, it's done just that. So I'm happy with that. Now what we'll do is export this new image. So we'll go to File, Export As. We'll name the file, and I like to put the dimensions in there, as I'll have another version later on of different dimensions. And I'll save this as a PNG file. You could also save it as a JPEG. Now I'll just click the folder I want to save it in and click Export. And there it goes. Now I'll just go to the folder where it's saved, open it up, and there it is. There's your new podcast artwork, made free of charge with free software. And that can be uploaded into iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, Libsyn. You can use it on your website and anywhere else you need to post your podcast artwork. So I hope you found that useful. And if so, then please like and share. I'm Tony Brown of TonyLBrown.com. Just let me know if I can help you with anything else. All the best and take care.